So there are a number of people that I greatly admire, such as Carl Sagan, obviously, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Michio Kaku, and Thunderfoot. And it's just to give you an idea of what sort of person is addressing you. I am indeed a proponent of science. Most people think of science as just, science, but it's actually a very specific method for determining truth and knowledge. Indeed, it was Thunderfoot that explained this acquiring of truth and knowledge as having sex with the universe, a sentiment that I agree with. So I'm just going to update everyone on the controversy itself. Someone called Hannah Rydell made a Facebook group, quite a large one, called Autistic Advocate Alliance. Very recently, very large group, like 500 members or so, something like that. And a fellow by the name of John Greeley, he's an autistic advocate. He's highly respected within the AS community, and he actually left the group recently in quite a spectacular fashion. So when he left, he had this to say about the group. It has radically and quickly become apparent that the group will be solely devoted to woo, unscience, healing, cure, mystical nonsense, supremacy, higher consciousness, resonation, quackery, anti-neurodiversity themes, such as functioning labels, etc. I have made a massive mistake in supporting the formation of the group with 181 people added in by me and those who assist me. Now I have to labour for up to a week to get them pulled out. This is a huge tragedy that will echo for months. The appointment of the highly insulting Jack Young was a terrible mistake too. What could have been a group to call advocates, very sensitive people, together to help advocates, has become a woo and mystical platform for hating on autism by other means. And in response, Hannah Rydell had this to say: you can all see all of the content of this group. I don't see any of this, just people sharing theories and ideas. I am so hurt and confused. I cannot continue doing this. I guess Jack and I are hated in the autism community now because we are interested in spirituality. Okay. Spirituality is not the problem here. Spirituality is indeed compatible with the majority of communities. For example, Sam Harris. If you haven't heard of Sam Harris, he's highly respected in the atheism community. He's actually known as one of the four horsemen. How did the tagline go? Something like, they're not going to bring the apocalypse, they're going to tell you why it's not coming, or something to that effect. I'm sure someone will correct me. But he's a very big key player in the atheism community. And he actually wrote a book called Waking Up, A Guide to Spirituality Without Religion. And that book, it was not met with scorn, but high praise by atheists and the atheism community in general. So spirituality is indeed compatible with most communities, including this one, I believe. So you might be wondering, well, if spirituality is not the problem, then what is? Well, I actually went through the Facebook page looking for what might be the problem here. And the things I've noticed are things like articles that pose the question, is autism the next stage of evolution, or something like that? Such things is, there's nothing wrong about inquiring as to our origins. It's not, it's wrong, obviously, because if you bone up on how evolution works, you'll see that it's wrong. That's an entirely different video, I suppose. But there's nothing too egregious about such an article. It's not, it's not outrageous to wonder as to what our origins might be. men have been doing that for millennia now. So I kept on looking for this this quackery and woo business that that John Greeley was talking about, and I came across a very interesting video by a fellow by the name of Jack Young, who posted one of his own videos in the group. And he starts off by saying that he wants to heal people, thinking, okay, well, he starts talking about how he wants to emotionally heal people. And then he does something very strange. He starts talking about energy and then something called meridian points. And then it's quite bizarre. He actually starts tapping on his face, right? And he makes all these extraordinary claims, like he's able to he's able to make someone forget a painful emotion, or he says he's able to get rid of physical pain.
But I now know that I need to heal, baby. Not just myself. I need to heal. I need to heal, help other people heal. I need to help other people to heal themselves through a healing, energetic exchange of two open people willing to heal each other and learn for free. And since it's difficult to find open people in society, I will use the tool of social media to find you. So the technique I used up until this point is EFT, which uses the meridian points on the body, like in acupuncture. And what we do is we tap on these points, and we usually tap while thinking about memories, emotions, feelings, and we let those emotions and feelings guide us in the tapping. And what will happen is we use intuition. If you're in touch with your intuition, if you can intuit other people, what it does is it makes the process a lot faster and a lot more thorough. You get to the deep-seated interference fields a lot faster that are generally often rooted in emotion or trauma or belief systems passed on from other people. I don't have bipolar disorder. I have autism, and tapping can help an autistic person to become a more skilled, gifted, autistic person, not to cure a disease that is not there, but to fine-tune and to rebalance, recharge. And I think I can help. Especially other autistic people. I know that I can be most effective probably with those groups of people.
Now, I've absolutely no problem with spirituality, as do most people. And to be absolutely clear, this kind of thing has absolutely nothing to do with spirituality. This is something else entirely. Okay, there are indeed quite a lot of problems with this. Firstly, people do, of course, sometimes need emotional healing. That's not what I'm against here. You know, and people heal by they do things like talk to a counselor, they talk to a friend or family member, they talk to a psychiatrist. Perhaps medication may be something that's needed, or perhaps it might be as simple as just having a holiday. This emotional freedom technique, the problem is that it is not a medical treatment. It is in fact a carnival trick, which induces the placebo effect. It's something that's already been debunked. It doesn't have any healing effect beyond the placebo effect. It's basically baloney, which is the scientific term for bullshit. And the problem with it is that if people buy into said bullshit, instead of being healed via proven methods that actually will help them with their problems, they'll simply be tapping themselves on the face instead of getting help, which is why it's harmful. And I found out recently that a friend of mine was actually propositioned for this, you know, emotional freedom nonsense, and she's quite sick. And I know undoubtedly that if she were to do this, instead of seek the help she needs, that she would get even sicker. So that's why it absolutely infuriates me to no end that you have people going around trying to push this abomination, this carnival trickery onto other people. Now, this sort of thing, it is something that simply cannot be combined with spectrum rights. It simply is not compatible. Well, one is about dispelling and debunking bullshit, such as the stigma of us being diseased or defective in some way, while the other is subscribing to bullshit. And you just can't combine activism and advocacy with something like pseudoscience. Well, you can't combine it with anything really. It has to be the one issue of spectrum rights. Anything else, and it just won't work. Okay, this sort of nonsense, it can only exist, right, if it doesn't face any kind of criticism. And for advocacy and activism to work, we can't do it with inside a bubble where we can't be criticized of anything. So John Greeley, he wasn't kidding when he said this is a huge tragedy. You know, it is something that is the exact opposite of advocacy and activism. And one of the problems we have in with advocacy and activism is we do indeed have a problem with legitimacy. Quite often, when we try and dispel the nonsense, we are called, might be called trolls. When we're not trolling at all, we're just saying rational, perfectly rational things, and because of the prejudice and all this stigma, if we were to say something like, we're not actually a disease, people will go, oh, what? No, that has to be a troll. When in reality, saying that we're not a disease or defect is a perfectly rational and valid position. It's, for example, when people compare us to things like cancer, if we were to say, give them the argument that cancer is actually a disease that, if left untreated, will slowly and painfully kill you, while being born an Aspergian or an autistic person is nothing like that. You don't, you're not in pain, and you don't slowly die from that. And that is a well-reasoned and entirely legitimate and valid argument that can and does withstand scrutiny. Now, if you were to say, hey, I'm not a disease or defect, and by the way, I also tap myself on the face and it heals me, it will not withstand any kind of scrutiny. These are this pseudoscience, these carnival tricks. They are. It is an abomination. It is incredibly toxic to associate this sort of thing with the AS community. It will. It just will not survive the long night. It will not survive in the public arena that is the free marketplace of ideas. The wolves will tear you asunder. Right, see you later. Bye.
I guess that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Oh, yeah, you can reach me Instagram, Blu-ray Boy, on this YouTube channel, Blu-ray Boy. Also my Facebook, which is Jack Young. And you can do the video session on either YouTube or YouTube if you don't mind it going live and sharing it with other people, or still we can do it on Google Hangouts, and I can delete the session and not post it onto YouTube, or Facebook, and it can be private. So I've done it a few times with people and it's been fun on video. You can do it over the phone, but I prefer not to do it over the phone because I need a visual reference point when I'm doing it. My eyes are my biggest intuitive entry point, not my ears. So I need visuals. I need to see you. I need to hear. I need to see your gestures, your movements, your facial expressions, and that way to work my craft and hone it and help each other in the process and learn more about each other in the process. You can get the most out of the session, and it doesn't take long to get big breakthroughs and feel big emotional releases and to erase past traumas, and it's good stuff. It's easy medicine, it's effortless, it directs itself. It also works great for physical pain as well, something I never feel in my body, so it's easier for me to tune into other people and know what the physical pain or disease in their body is linked to emotionally or energetically. So I'm really good at physical pain, and also emotional aspects just naturally end up being part of the process of the healing.